Oh, Sandeep just texted me that there is no audio. I've just started the audio. My God, it's been a big debacle for today. I'm just going to start over and summarize this. And I'm going to say that today there is this rumor that Trump is going to hold back some tariffs. I do not believe in this rumor, so I'm going to stick to my convictions. I have got news out here which says bond funds are in demand as investors are fleeing NASDAQ to QQQ. And that means that money is going into the bonds. And if you look at the bonds also, you can see that the bond market is going up. And you look at the yields out here, you see that the yields are going up. When the yields go up, it basically means that that's going to be interesting for investors and the money should move out of the stock market. But today what I think is happening is that the yield rise is due to expectation of a stronger economy because Trump is going to roll back the tariffs. It could actually be a positive for the stocks. That's what we are seeing in here. In this case, the higher yields reflect optimism about corporate earnings and growth. And that is benefiting the stock prices because investors are thinking that if Trump is going to dilute the tariffs, then the losses that we already built into the earnings is going to be reduced. And therefore, you're seeing a rebound in the stocks. And my friends, I'm not going to repeat everything here. I apologize for the audio that was not there, and thanks to Sandeep for pointing it out to me. I was not watching the comment section because I was very focused on the analysis. I'm going to do a very quick and dirty analysis out here for you guys. I would say that NASDAQ is already gone past the 200-day exponential as well as the 20-day exponential in the futures. So it's going to be looking at a face-ripping rally if what we hear as a rumor actually becomes a news. So I'm very worried about it, but I'm not going to change any of my positions. I will try to take profits on my positions where I get profitability. Look at S&P 500. It's also above the 200-day and the 20-day exponential. We are all up for a face-ripping rally. Our resistance for S&P 500 is 5,817. Our resistance for NASDAQ is going to be all the way up at 20,640. So there could be a huge gain today unless something comes out and people realize that it's just a rumor and it's not the news. And I'm going to move on to have a look at AI. I'm going to show you what I'm looking at in AI. NVIDIA has not yet broken the 200-day exponential. So that's going to be the resistance for NVIDIA today. And that's sitting at 120.83. If you look at Meta is already above the 200-day exponential moving average. And it's also broken through the diagonal line of resistance of the bear channel. It's also above the 9-day exponential. But it has got a resistance at the 20-day exponential, which is sitting at 622.74. That's going to be the resistance for Meta today. And Google was very beaten down. It's still below the 9-day, 20-day, and the 200-day exponential. And the resistance for it is going to be 9-day exponential for today, which is sitting at around 166.86. But I can see that in the futures, in the pre-market, it's already broken through above it. It's at 168.89. So I'm thinking that the 20-day exponential and the 200-day exponential are going to be the resistance for Google today. And by the looks of it, it seems that the Mag 5 is not actually pulling up the entire market. It's the rest of the market which is pulling it up because Mag 7 accounts for around 30% of the market. So the remaining 70 is actually pulling up the market. So to that extent, I think that the rally looks a bit decent. I'm looking at Amazon, which still has got to break through the 200-day and the 9-day exponentials and the 20-day exponentials. Those are going to be the resistance for it today. In the pre-market, it's already up 1.82%, and the 200-day exponential sitting at 200.94 is the first resistance for it, and then 203.15 is the next resistance for it. I can see that Apple is also recovering. It's up 0.86% in pre-market trades. But it has got a very strong resistance with the 200-day as well as the 20-day exponential sitting at 224.46. Microsoft is also trying to negotiate the 200-day exponential. It's already broken above the 20-day exponential, which is sitting at 392.66. Pre-market, it's at 395.87. So for us, Microsoft is going to face a resistance at 399.89 today. Tesla is also up smartly 4.11%, broken through a lot of resistances, but it's still below the 20-day exponential, and the resistance for Tesla today is starting at 263.48, which is a horizontal resistance. Then Oracle is also moved out of the bear channel, and it's going to have resistance at the 20-day exponential at 156.50. After that, you have the 200-day at 157.59. And then we look at AMD. AMD is up 2.70%, broken out of the bear channel, and it's facing the resistance of the 50-day exponential at 110.53. It has to break through that, and then AMD will look really formidable. Intel Corporation is up 1.57%, but I'm thinking that it's still got to break through this gap up that was happening. It's got the 200-day exponential, which is providing resistance. If it breaks out of the 200-day exponential, I think it's going to have the next resistance, which will be at around 25.95. SMCI is also SMCI is down 0.07%, and it's also above the diagonal line of resistance, which is a bull channel. I've marked it as a bull channel. Earlier it had been a resistance, and I had written watch bull channel develop. Now I'm thinking that we are going to be in a bull channel out here based on the overall euphoria in the market, and my test for that would be that it should break above 42.80. Right now it's at 42. It's down 0.36% in pre-market trades, and if it breaks through above this, then 200-day exponential is going to be the resistance for it. And I'm going to just skip the rest and directly go on to genomics, because we have lost a lot of time in the morning. I'm looking at Verve. Verve is going to be above the bear channel support line out here, and it's still below all the exponential moving averages, still looking weak on the charts. Ginkgo Bioworks is up 3.30%, and I'm thinking that Ginkgo Bioworks has got to break through this minor line of resistance before it can become anything serious. MACD is looking good, but momentum leaves a lot desired. Caribou Biosciences is flat in pre-market trades. It still has got the 20-day exponential that it needs to break through, and we have a weak MACD and momentum. And CRISPR Therapeutics is up 1.89% in pre-market trades. It's being held down by the 9-day exponential at 42.04, and then we have a very strong resistance at 42.84, which is a horizontal line of resistance plus the 20-day exponential moving average. Very difficult for CRISPR Therapeutics to break through above this, but it reinforces this support. The more time it hits this support, I'm thinking that it makes this as a much more stronger support instead of a minor support. Then look at Grail. Grail is up 3.30%, and it still has got a resistance at 31.95, and it's also got a resistance at 31.40, which happens to be the 50-day exponential moving average. So if it breaks both of that, then it gets a resistance from the 20-day exponential. So a lot of resistance for Grail. Prime is up 2.56%. It has still not been able to break through this diagonal line of resistance, which was a support for a previous bear channel. So that is going to be the first line of resistance that we are going to see, and that is sitting at 2.01. Pre-market, we are at $2. We are up 2.56% from the previous close, and the next resistance is the 20-day exponential sitting at 2.15. Now let's look at Beam Therapeutics, which is up 2.15%, still looking very weak. And the next resistance is a 9-day exponential at 24.26. Altimmune is also looking weak. It's up 1.72%, but momentum is pretty weak, and it's still up below the 20-day exponential at 5.09. If it manages to break the resistance of 5.09, which it seems to have done because it's up 1.72% in pre-market trade, it's at 5.91. I'm thinking that then the next resistance for that is going to be 6.22, and that's what I'm looking at as the target for Altimmune today. Bluebird Bio is up 1.54%. It's still got resistance at the 20-day exponential at 4.37. And I'm looking at Allogene, which is up 4.32%, and it's above this diagonal line of support, and it's going to be facing a very formidable resistance at 1.79, which is the intersection of the 9-day exponential moving average as well as a horizontal line of resistance. Very difficult for it to break through above that. Now mRNA is up 1.13%, and it's still got resistance from the 9-day and the 20-day exponential moving average ranging from 33.52 to 33.88. So that's going to be the zone of resistance for mRNA today. ARCG is up 2.06%. It's being held down by the 20-day exponential, which is at 23.81. In all probability, ARCG will break that today. Sorry about that. ARCG will break that today, but it's going to be held back by the 50-day exponential. So that's what I think is going to be the range of trading for ARCG. And in all probability, if this turns out to be a rumor, then we'll see ARCG settling back down below the 20-day exponential. That is below 23.81. PSCB is up 0.77% in pre-market trades. It has still got resistance from the 9-day exponential, which is sitting at 1.35. Intelia is up 2.33%, but still has resistance from the 9-day exponential sitting at 9.25. I think it could break through above that, but it's likely to come back down below it if whatever we hear about the tariffs is just a rumor and not a news. We have Illumina, which is up 1.06% in pre-market trades. It is still going to be held down by this huge area of resistance out here because China has not yet removed its embargo on Illumina. So that is something we have to keep in mind. Sorry for the cough. Then we have IMTX, which is up 0.40%, and it's got support from the 9-day and the 20-day exponential moving average, but it's got a very strong resistance today, and that resistance is coming from the horizontal line of resistance at 5.34 as well as the 50-day exponential, which is also sitting at 5.34. Right now we are at 5.02. So formidable resistance indeed. And we have Editas, which is up 2.28%, and it's still, the chart is looking very weak, nothing much to talk about here. Iowa has just jumped above the diagonal line of resistance that we had out here. I'm going to mark that as a line of support. So today for us, the line of support is going to be 3.57, and for us the resistance is going to be 3.68 that we have to break through, which is a 9-day exponential. It's a very narrow range. I think we are going to stay within that range for Iowa. Unicure is up 0.36%, still below the diagonal line of resistance of the bear channel. Nothing much to talk about here. Vertex is up 0.76%, gone above the 9-day exponential. It's still in a bull channel, so nothing much to be worried about. And I'm thinking that whatever news we have out here, which is pushing the rumor that we have out here, which is pushing the whole market up, it's going to be met with demand from journalists at the White House Press Corp and others, asking for White House officials to provide clarity on whether some of those tariffs are going to be rolled back. And all the CEOs will also be keen to know which aspects of the tariffs are going to be diluted, because then they can plan ahead. So sooner rather than later, we are going to have a news release from the White House. And I'm just going to refresh out here to see if we have any news release. It's not yet come in. I think that it could come anytime. And if that news release does not confirm this rumor, then I think we are in for a face-ripping rally, and I would probably have to book a lot of losses. And I will also have a lot of profits because there are a lot of long positions I have on Nvidia, Google, Amazon, and Meta. Those kind of things will get into the profitable side. I'm also profitable on Walmart and on Berkshire Hathaway. So there are a lot of avenues of profitability for me. So I'm just going to stay put. I would like to hear from you guys what you think about the markets. And yeah, I'm now looking at the comment sections to see if we have any news from anybody. So I wish you a very happy journey on your way for vacation. And yeah, I'm going to bring this video to an end, and I'll catch up with you in the next video. And sorry for the lack of the audio in the beginning.